Happy Monday. We're live.
Yo, I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys I'll never compromise. And now I realize there may be other guys I'll never
Thank you for the sub, Gus.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys I'll never compromise.
From Gus.
And now I realize there may be other guys I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize.
And welcome, early chatters.
Well, let them in. Let them in. Yo, Mike. Drinks on the chat.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys I'll never compromise. And now I realize there may be other guys I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries, and now I realize I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys I'll never compromise. And now I
Coming in.
realize
Welcome to the guys next door.
other guys, there may be other guys, there may be other guys.
Shout out Tony LeBron.
Compromise. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. There may be other guys. And now I realize.
All right. Hello. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to the guys next door. We got a few people coming in. Hello. First time chatter, Tony LeBron. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. I know you're here for the freak, so we got a good show in store for you guys. So a lot of new chatters, I presume, that are gonna come in today. Just looking at the chat for the 11th episode of the guys next door. 11 episode 11, guys. So I think this is gonna be a good show today because we have a legend on the show that we'll be interviewing. And I feel like we're going to hit a lot of topics today, a lot of good ones too. So, welcome everybody to the guys next door. We do this every freaking Monday. So, come and join us. We have good guests. So, welcome to this week's episode. Like I mentioned, we have a guest that we'll be introducing soon. We are the guys next door. This is Mr. Coops from NBHD. How's everybody doing? And how is your weekend, Sound Decision and Gus? Gus, I know you're still sad with that face for the Lions losing. What can you say about yesterday?
It was a good game for the first half, but second half, well, hey, I'm happy that we were there, so I'm good. Yep.
I think it's their first NFC championship, right? Ever? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, because there was no Super Bowl the last time they
There-
were in this deep in the playoff. So
Yeah.
everything here is a first.
Yep, that's
Everything
why
that's been
it's good.
happening. And the two wins are a first as well.
Yeah.
So we got
So-
some A-roll from Dan Campbell. So I want
let's-
you guys.
I want to see this.
Yeah, we have a couple. Let's do the
I
first
said
one.
it pretty vividly. It's like getting your heart ripped out, and it's hard. You know, it's hard. We just couldn't counter back, and we've always been able to counter back. We just couldn't quite do it in this one.
Well, I gotta say that must be frustrating. I mean, people would judge those two. They went for it on the fourth down, but I mean, even the announcer is saying that's their person. That's their persona. They've been doing
Philosophy.
that the whole
Yeah.
season,
Yeah.
right? So,
Mhm.
and they did not shy away from it. So people could judge them for making those, I guess, bad decision. Because if they kicked those two field goals, they could have been. They could have been. Oh, they're up. They could have won, right? But again,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know because that will change the whole complexity of the game.
Yeah. So a couple of mistakes that uh, we can look back because we know the results already. But
Mhm.
at that time, in the end of the first half, they had the chance to go for the fourth down. They went for a kick. So they could it could have been a three-score game and they didn't, I
Yeah.
think in the first half they were unstoppable. They could do whatever they want. They can push it in, they can pass, but they didn't. And that was important. If you had the three score lead, it would have been a different story. Tale of two halves, second half, man, the Niners were good. They were
Yeah.
so good. Um
I still hate them. Sorry about if you
I
have a
know.
Niners fan in the chat. I am not a Niners fan. I'm sorry, but because we call them the whiners because they always whine, win or lose, even back, last year. But good luck. Sorry.
Kind of like,
People
yeah,
will hate
kind of
me.
like your rivals. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
have another clip from Dan Campbell. This
sure.
one's a more poignant one.
And it's a lesson learned. And look, I told those guys, this may have been our only shot. Do I think that? No. Do I believe that? No. However, I know how hard it is to get here. I'm well aware. And it's going to be twice as hard to get back to this point next year than it was this year. That's the reality. And if we don't have the same hunger and the same work, which is a whole nother thing, once we get the off season, then we got no shot of getting back here. I don't care how much better we get or what we add or what we drive. It's irrelevant. It's going to be tough. And it's a lesson learned. And look, I told those guys, this may have been our only.
Hey, got to give it to the guy. He brought them there. But I think they're going to be a contender next year. So that's really how you guys spend the weekend, lamenting. But it was exciting though, right? Coming in, I
Um,
mean, you got high hopes. So
there's two heartbreakers over the weekend. The Philippines, represented by Strong Group, they were competing in the Dubai Basketball Invitational. They lost, and this is really a heartbreaker. Game was tied with 12 seconds to go. When the Filipinos took a three care of Andre Roberson, he missed it. Okay, and then the other team from Lebanon had the transition fast break. They went all the way deep and then kicked it out to a 3-point shooter. And guess what? They made the three with the buzzer
Mhm.
sounding. And guess what? This guy who made the three, he's a 30-year veteran professional. And that
uh,
so double heartbreaker for us. So
but I'll tell you, once we introduce our guest, it's going to be a triple heartbreaker because our guest
There you go.
also got a L on the other side on the AFC Championship.
oh
We'll ask him how he felt about it later. Anyway, thank you again for letting us know how your weekend went. So let's start the guys next door, episode 11, where talk is cheap and laps are priceless. This is Mr. Coops, Sound Decisions, and Gus. Welcome, everybody. So, the first segment of our show, we always talk about the neighborhood. So, the neighborhood raid train every Sunday. So, we do a raid train house to house every Sunday on Twitch. If you want to join that raid train, please reach out to us. We accept everybody and who wants to participate and play house music all day every Sunday. This Sunday is no different than any other house to house raid train. We got a lot of exciting DJs that play in the lineup. I'm just going to show the flyer. There it is. We started off with a lot of the East, what do you call this? The East, Southeast Asia, right? We have DJ Offside from Japan, I think, right? RT9 is, I would say, Malaysia, or is that right? Or Thailand?
Malaysia.
Somewhere. Malaysia, right? And then
Malaysia, they
DJ
said. Yeah.
MC2 J-Man is from the Philippines now. Kidding, he's from Chicago, but he's
Oh,
Australia.
we're adopting
Another
this kid.
Filipino.
We're adopting
And
this
then
kid.
yeah,
Indian DJ.
and then all the way down to a lot of other DJs in Canada, America, and we ended up with a bang on the West Coast by
Sahar.
Music by Sahar. So what did you guys say about this week's Rate Train?
I saw Tasha's set. I think she's from Colombia.
I missed that one. Yeah,
That was a very fun set, and I'm happy because we're repping our Spanish Latino community,
that's
and
great.
she brought the energy, and I loved it. And then after her was Capra. I missed that, so I don't know if any
So
of
so
you.
I caught Capra Music, and they were speaking Spanish on the chat. After
So back to
she
back,
rated. Yeah,
Spanish speaking almost chat. So we
yeah.
got to learn
So
the language, dude.
I, I
Gus,
I
let's
I
start.
think I need to. But that's the that's the neighborhood rate train. And again, thanks again for people supporting NBHD. You can go to our Discord if you want, or reach out to us to join the Sunday rate train. We have 1 hour set, but we are going to 90 minutes in 2 weeks, so we're gonna extend it. Less DJ, more vibes, but we want them to showcase more of their talent. 30 half an hour more for the rate train. All right, now without further ado, let's put our guest on the stage as I introduce. So our guest for today is a DJ on Twitch, a legendary producer, a musician. I heard he plays a lot of instrument, a songwriter, and also a long lost Maxino. That's what I heard. Famous for producing the hit song "Party People," who stood out as one of the anthems during the start of COVID, or during the COVID area, for a lot of music lovers, and everybody around the world loved it. He's listed as one of the top 100 house music artists multiple times on Tracksource. Everybody, please welcome the legend, the freak, Mike Freak.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Mike, how's it
How's
going?
everyone? All good. Yeah, I'm good here. Just finished the session. We are working on we do a show as well with Spen. So yeah,
Yes,
before I came in here, I was like, we were fixing our show. So
you should have invited DJ Spen to
yeah,
to
we
do
can
it
we
with
can
you.
actually have Spen.
Yeah,
That
you
would
could.
be.
Yeah. So, how's it going after that loss with the Ravens? And we were talking
It's,
about the Lions a while ago.
I mean, it's okay. That's part of the game. You win some, you lose some. I'm happy. We won the Super Bowl 2011, so I'm good with that. At least I can
Oh,
say,
that's good.
my our town won at least one time.
That's great.
One of the most passionate fans
Yeah,
from
actually,
football in
Mhm.
yeah,
Baltimore.
I think
Yeah,
Baltimore lives and die
unbelievable
by
support.
with the Ravens. So
Have, have you ever been like from the start a Ravens fan, or are you rooting for somebody else?
no, because I was not really a football fan when I moved here. So when I moved here to the US, I used to live in Arizona, so I was like a big Phoenix Suns fan. I was a big basketball
Mm,
guy,
basketball.
and yeah. So when I moved here, it's a different. It feels different. The sports here, everyone's just into football,
Yeah,
and we don't have a basketball team,
yeah.
so everyone is into like the Ravens, and also we have a baseball team,
Well,
the
you're a Phoenix
Orioles.
Suns fan, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a Steve Nash
We
Yep.
were
I
fan.
was.
both
I
big
was.
I'm a
fans.
big Steve Nash fan.
Yeah, I lived there during the Steve Nash era. So I was
So
there.
so
I
you
experienced the heartache,
you
man.
you you
There's
you
heartaches
felt the
too.
same heartache when they were playing. What was that when Robert Horry was
Yeah,
the general manager?
yep, that was yep. I lived in Arizona during that
The
time.
the the,
Everyone hated Robert Horry, which is
Robert Horry,
remember
right?
Amari got suspended. Remember that?
yeah,
Yeah,
That
yeah.
yeah.
was
No,
it.
that
When
was
he
that
got
was just
suspended.
bad. We
That's a
yeah.
heartbreaker.
So I remember that V because Pat and I, Sound Dishes and I, were actually at Disney with our kids, and we are watching that game, and
Oh,
we
damn.
were
Yeah.
actually shouting because we want the Suns to go to the finals that time. What that was a
Yeah.
heartbreak.
I think who was playing? It was Spurs and Cleveland that fought for the championship. I think that was LeBron James' first championship run.
Championship ring, huh?
Yeah, it was his first championship run. Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you again, Mike, for joining us. I appreciate it. When I ask you, say, if you want to go do an interview for the guys next door, and said yes, it was like, yes, I got Mike Freak. But I want the world to know, or a Twitch world to know, the legend of Mike Freak. So I want to know
Uh,
more about, what you've done and the story behind it, right? So you were born and raised in the Philippines, right?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I grew up in Manila. Place called Las Piñas. It's the south
Mm.
in
Yep.
Manila. So yeah, that's where I grew up. Um, Born and raised in Manila.
And how young were you exposed to music? Have you always been like into music growing up? And how's
Um,
the household with that? Yep.
well, I love sports, but the problem was I had asthma, so I was like I couldn't play. Like everyone was playing basketball, I couldn't play. Just dang, I was always sick. So like my mom was like, "Yeah, just learn how to play an instrument," and I didn't like it. So I was kind of forced into learning how to play. So my first instrument was the violin. I didn't like
Wow.
it. Yeah. Then my mom was like, "Oh, go try piano." I did it for a- for a couple of months. But the thing was, I was one of the things like looking back, I was able to memorize the book, but I couldn't read the notes.
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh, I have something here. I can play, but I can't read it." So whenever the teacher would give me a new song, I had to like learn and practice it. I was not like reading music per se. So
Yeah.
Was electronic music in the horizon at that point in your
no,
musical
it
career?
didn't happen up until I was in my 20s. So
Mm.
yeah, but I was playing for bands like
Oh,
during
wow. Okay.
college. Yeah, during college, high school, I was playing for bands, and we would frequent all these places where clubs in Manila where they have like local bands, and we would see
Club Dread,
Eraserheads, Club Dread. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Mayrix, I
Red,
was
Boot
Mayrix,
there.
right?
Cafe,
Yeah.
Mayrix.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
And,
even played. I even played a couple of places. Yeah, I played Mayrix, Big Sky Mind, a whole bunch of like clubs in Manila. I played a whole bunch of those.
No, that's
so,
amazing.
So
do
I
you
was
have
playing. I was
Trying
playing
to
keyboard and I was playing guitar. Whatever the band needs, like I learned how to play all those instruments. So if they needed a
Mm.
drummer, I'll play drums. If they needed
so
whatever,
you just gonna
yeah,
jump into it? You have long hair back then?
yeah, I did. I did.
I knew it.
yeah.
Yeah, so for people who doesn't know, like because we know that we're probably all the same age. That era of bands,
Yeah,
Mike Creek already said, Eraserheads, Parokya and Edgar,
yeah.
Yano, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Like those are the big, band era back in the day. That's probably where we're all in the college back then. Not showing
Yeah.
our age. That's probably right, right? You're
No,
all
I was still in pre-K.
oh no, no. You're not playing. You're not gonna
There we
let
go.
you
I was
in.
still in pre-K. I was playing with bands when I was in pre-K.
They're not gonna let you in Merrick's. If you're in
Yeah.
pre-K, because I actually frequent Merrick's because I actually went to school across the street, so I
Oh, okay.
know. So I
Yeah.
know.
I have
Uh,
yeah, that's why I was there because I have a lot of bandmates who were from yeah, across the street.
across the
So
street.
yeah.
Put it on the Paul Boji on NBHD on Twitch. Did you have long hair in the 90s?
so going back to Pat's question, so the band and then
Yeah, so
uh
I played for rock bands. Then after that, when I was done with college, I was like, what am I gonna do? So a friend of mine started like a show band and they needed a keyboard player. So I was like, okay, let me play. So back then we were playing with shoot. Who was this reggae person? I
in
forgot his
Philippines,
name. Yeah, from the Philippines. So we were playing
uh
back to back with that Blackjack.
Blackjack. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were playing back to back with his band. So it was yeah, we were I forgot the name of those clubs, but we frequented clubs in Quezon City. I can't remember what those clubs are, but yeah, we were playing back to back with either Side,
Right.
Pido. What's Pido's band? I forgot. But I was pretty active in the music scene in the Philippines. So
That's great. So how do you got into DJing?
I just got into
Sort of.
DJing. I just got into DJing like 10 years ago. I'm kind of like a late bloomer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So
So
you were
fifth
in the
grade,
band.
sixth grade, pre-K,
I
and
was
sixth grade, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I was in middle school 10
There you
years
go.
ago.
there you go. So, so that's a great transition. Band, and then did you? I guess when you're DJ, did you go straight to house music, or did you
No,
play other
I was playing like electronic music. I was
EDM?
into
Oh, well,
no, it wasn't EDM. It was more of like I did play a little bit of trance. I remember that. And because like they needed a trance DJ. I was like, yeah, I can play trance. So yeah, I played a couple of trance sets back in the day,
so
2012, 2011.
all right. So whoever's running a raid train here, if you need a trance DJ,
I,
this is the first. You
I
have Mike.
probably don't
You
have
you can get
any.
Mike Freak.
I probably don't have any more trance tunes, but yeah, I remember those days.
So let's talk about well, the DJing you said came 10 years after, but based from the article that we read here, that you moved to the US, but you first moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
That is, of all places, you would think you'd go to the East Coast or West Coast, but you went to Arizona, the desert.
Yep. So I have a degree in music. So pretty
Mm.
much music has been, my main source of living. And I found a job. They had an opening to teach music, and I have a degree in music, so I applied. And they took me in. They flew me over to start a music program over in
Wow.
Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
So
did you teach on a school in
yeah,
Arizona?
I did. So that's still my main job up until now. I teach kids how to play rock and roll.
That's
So
amazing.
You're like Jack Black
yeah,
from
kind of like yeah, that's kind of like
the
a what
what's
I
that
do is
movie?
School of Rock.
School of Rock.
School
Yeah,
of Rock.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also learned that you actually teach like a Navajo
Yeah,
community back
yeah.
in
So
Arizona.
I did work for the Navajos for the Navajo reservation. That was fun. So it was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Yeah.
So any stories you want to tell, like doing that with Navajo? I mean, that's probably yeah, to your exciting because and interesting is because
Different
it's
culture too,
It
right?
yeah.
is a very different
Yeah.
culture. It was really fun because I discovered there's a different side to America. It's not just
Oh yeah.
what we're so used to. Like when you go out, you see malls, you see high rises. Then I lived in Arizona. It was like it was such a
Desert.
small town. It's like in the middle of nowhere. To get to Walmart, I have to drive for like 2 hours.
It's
Wow. Okay.
like
Wow.
Yeah,
most Americans haven't even been there or seen
yeah.
where you've been, and you went there from the Philippines. So
Yep. So I found a
it's
job. I worked there for about a year, 2 years, and yeah, it's interesting. So my pastime was like I just collected like a whole lot of like instruments to make music, and like I collected a whole bunch of keyboards. I learned how to make my own tracks, pretty much. Like during my free time, or sometimes people would invite me to be in their bands. So yeah, I still kept playing for bands, like even during those times.
How about I mean, if somebody asks you to play for a band, will you still do it today?
No, I just don't have the time. I would love to. Like I still have friends here in Baltimore. Like I've played for a whole bunch of bands here. I just don't have the time right now. My priorities are just to make music, pretty much.
Yeah, talk about music is live. That's Mike Freak. So how did you
Yeah.
got into Baltimore? I mean, how did you move? Why did you move to Baltimore?
Oh well, Yeah, my girlfriend back then, who's now my
Oh,
wife.
because of a
Yeah,
girl. Okay, we all do that.
yeah. We've done a lot of crazy things for love, so that's what I did. My wife found a job here. It was like she was gonna move there. I was gonna move here. I was like, I like the East Coast better. So yeah, I followed her. Then we this is where we raised our family here in Baltimore.
And now in Baltimore, you also teach music to to kids,
Yeah,
right? So that's
yep.
awesome.
That's how I earn. That's
So,
one of the uh, means where I earn. So
so I guess that this is where when you moved to Baltimore, is this where you started DJing
yeah,
or learn how to DJ?
yeah.
Tell us the
That's
story. How did that evolve? I want to understand, like from a hair band, electronic music, now house DJ. So how did that all transpire? Can you tell us and tell that story?
two. I think 2008. Like I booked a couple of shows because I've always like played dance music. It's because I was heavily influenced by Fatboy Slim, Chemical
Oh,
Brothers, and back then I was bringing drum machines to shows, and I found a show where they feature electronic musicians. So I played a couple of gigs, but then when that one dried up, like the only gigs available was for DJs. So I kind of like I learned how to DJ. I bought a pair of Pioneer decks
yeah.
and I booked the show 2008. And I remember that because like I was really excited. And then I went in and played. I sucked. Like I couldn't beat match to save my life. So yeah, it was a horrible. It was a horrible gig, but it was a good experience. And
Yeah.
from then on, I kind of like worked hard to be a better DJ after that. So yeah, and then eventually, I met Spen and I met the rest of the Quantize people. I attended a couple of Quantize parties, and that's when I got into house music. I didn't really understand. All I know is was just dance music per se. I didn't
Yeah.
really think about genres back then. And about 2016 was when I kind of started learning about house music because it was pretty big here in Baltimore. I didn't
2016. Wow. Okay.
2016. So yeah, that's when I started like learning, understanding how house music works and how to DJ, how to be a better DJ. So yeah, then that's when I started getting like more serious bookings in clubs and whatnot.
That's great. So, how's the Baltimore house scene there? We talk about Chicago, we talk about New York, right? They have different
Yeah.
styles of approach.
Mhm.
How different is Baltimore? And now that you're getting into those communities now that plays house music in Baltimore.
Yeah. So Baltimore really the scene is more of like for the younger kids, it's more of like a ravey kind of stuff. So everyone there's a big EDM scene here. So a lot of the parties are, raves
Mm.
and but there's this one club here, it's called the Paradox that features house music and a whole bunch of them. Yeah, Tony LeBron's my Twitch dad. That's why he's here.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, no, Tony's a good friend. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I played I went to Paradox. I went to the party by myself, and that's where I saw Ultra Nate, a whole bunch of those legends here in Baltimore. And I just realized these are like international stars, and they do their parties over here in the city. So I was like, "Yo, let me introduce myself to these people." I just said hi, hello. Nothing happened, and I got invited to DJ a radio show,
Mm.
and in that radio station there's a whole bunch of DJs that were affiliated with DJ Span. So that's where I introduced myself. I told them, yeah, I make music too. And yeah, so that's kind of where everything started.
And yeah, and now with the quantized record, it's just your networking of knowing a lot of these people that grew, right? We should
Yeah.
go to Baltimore. I mean, maybe Mike Free can introduce Gus, Sound Decision, even Grace to
Yeah.
this gigs.
You
It's
are
funny though. Yeah,
you're close there enough that Grace can play a couple gigs, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's close to Philly.
It's funnily though. Like as soon as I got well deep into the scene, I couldn't get any gigs. So what I did was I found a little scene back in Washington D.C., which is about an hour from where I live, and that's where I kind of like started having my own residencies, met a whole bunch of people, and got deep into the club scene over there in DC because I couldn't find any gigs right here. I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't, and so DC was more open, and yeah, that's why I did. That's just like every weekend I'll be down in DC DJing.
Wow. So how's that, right? Because you got deep into the network, then it's got harder to get
It's
gigs.
it's a little harder because I'm like a new kid in town, and there's a clique that you have to be a part of. Even if you are well connected, it's still not. It's a different kind of thing. So, and I guess I mean, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but I'm an Asian guy,
Oh,
and it's a different scene. They look at people different, unless
Yeah,
you you know.
you can make a big deal about it because
yeah,
we've
yeah. I
experienced the
think that's
same
true.
thing. It's very common. So
I think
Yeah,
it's very
you know,
common,
it's like
I
especially with
try
big
not.
cities.
Yeah, try not to think about it. But in DC, there's like a whole clique of like Asian DJs, and that's where I kind of like found
oh yeah,
people.
yeah. We
Um,
went to we went to this Filipino burger place. Do you remember the name, Mr. Coops, of the guy who owns that restaurant, Gus, who opened the burger place, and the burger place had DJs, and it was all Asian DJs. Remember that restaurant, Gus, that you had to line up for, and it was a Filipino
I
restaurant.
can't remember.
But
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Can't
about.
remember.
yeah, but anyway, I saw the scene, and it was fantastic to see,
yeah,
you
and
know, AAPI
mhm.
DJs.
So that's where you go to where you're wanted and where you can contribute to the scene. So that's where I kind of like grew and networked with a whole bunch of people. Before you know it, I was playing different clubs and different venues in DC. And like even up until now, like I'll play in Baltimore once a year, and then I'll play other places.
New York.
Yeah, like I'll play DC like almost once a month. I play in DC, but in Baltimore I'll just play one because it's our label event with Quant Size.
Right.
So
Well, that's true though. I mean, you mentioned again, not not making a big deal out of it. It's just as Asians, and I teach it to my kids. Like for some reason, we have to
oh
to
yes, Foggy Boy.
work
I
harder.
remember. Yeah, I remember that place, Foggy
Pokey
Boy.
boy,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I was
yeah.
trying to think
Yeah,
of the
Poggy Boy,
venue.
and then
Foggy Boy.
and yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead, Mr. Coops.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that Mike has a good point about for some reason I won't call it um, racism. It's just that with us here in America, we just need to work harder, improve, and in the networking is really what on our fellow Asians, right? So that's just the reality of it. Even
Yeah,
with
I
with
think
our
I
kids.
think so. I think so. But once you start something, you move past that and try not to think of it's got.
Mm.
I mean, it
Mm.
still has something to do with race, but at the same time, if you're just gonna think about that, it's
It will
not. It's
always
not a.
limit
It's
you.
yeah. It's gonna eat you up. So you move past
That's
it
good.
and just you work
That's a
past
great
it. Yep.
lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
Just
That,
move along when you can find your gears. Just move along and not think about it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great mentality, though, right? So that's for us. That's something as Asians we have that behind our back. But if we can go move forward and just say, I'm gonna get over this and then do the
Mhm.
best I can, I think that's where we
Yeah.
excel.
I
Yep.
mean, there are people who've done good and done way better because they didn't really bother and
Feel
didn't really
yeah.
worry about it.
Mm.
Like if you look at the other stars that we have, like in acting, even in DJing, yeah, like you have a couple of DJs who've stood out. Like Laid Back Luke is Filipino, he
Yep.
stood out. So it can be done. You just need to work and
Absolutely.
yeah.
You have to
That's
just
been
break
my
that
belief.
mold.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, I truly believe as Filipino, to all the Filipinos who are listening right now, you have to break that mold. You have to get away with that sense of, I would say, I won't call it insecurity, but more of like,
Yeah,
there's
you
a
can't
culture,
feel
there's a
sorry. You
culture
can't.
barrier,
Yeah.
right?
I mean that's just how it is. Like if you go to Japan, right? Like that culture is so homogenous. Then you
Yeah,
see,
Mhm.
you see like a black person, and that person, will struggle because he's in a different culture. So it's the
yeah,
same here.
yeah,
The good thing is, America's pretty diverse, and you can find a scene. You can find people like you, and
yep,
you grow from there, and then develop, and then before you know it, you're moving out.
absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just that work harder.
yeah,
Yeah. So one thing I want to discuss, Mike, and I know you've been very open about it, and this is for me, it's inspiring. Right, you're a
yeah,
cancer survivor, right?
yeah. Yes, I
Very,
am. That's
very, yeah, very, very horrible disease, and I can personally relate it because we have some in the family, and I want you to tell a story how you dealt with that journey. I think it's a very inspiring story that I really want. I know I heard about some of it, but I want the listener or the viewers right now to hear that inspiring story.
Oh yeah, 2018. I saw like a lump on my arm, and I didn't really care much for it. I thought it was just like it's just a lump, and then I saw the doctor, tried to get it checked, and before you know it, they were asking me to do a whole bunch of tests. And
Yeah.
yeah, because it was around December when I found out that I was sick. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, because everyone thinks like if you get cancer, that's like a death sentence. And
Yes.
I was like, oh shoot, if I'm gonna die, I might as well make the best music I can. So yeah, so during that course of treatment, I became like really obsessed with producing, and then I was really crazy, like hitting up people like fellow DJs. Like I didn't tell them I was sick. I was like, if you have any gigs, I'll play and whatnot. So yeah, that was like it was very crazy. Like you know, I'll stay in the hospital for about 5 straight days doing chemo, and like a week before I go to the hospital, I'd either book a DJ gig, and then that night before, like Saturday, like I book a Saturday gig, and then Sunday I was back at the hospital doing chemo up until Thursday, and it was crazy. And then during those times I was doing chemo, I was writing music. I wrote a whole bunch of music, and yeah, that's I think I developed a little bit of proficiency in producing because I was like working with just my laptop and a small keyboard and just this headphone I'm still using. That was it. And up until now, whatever like
Wow.
skill I learned from making music is just I'm just using this headphone and my laptop and my keyboard. And
And you
I'm
were just
not
making
yeah, I
music
was just
left and right.
I
Yeah.
was just like finishing up music every day. I'll finish something, and I was just sending it out. And one of them was yeah, party people, which was
That's-
picked up by Crystal Waters, which is crazy. So this was like one of the lowest moments of my life, and that thing happened.
So,
Yeah.
We got
so
we got some shout outs for excuse me for a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit. We got some
we
shout outs to take
we got
care
a whole lot
of.
of people in there.
Lily Coy is here. Hello, Angelica Cadeno. Welcome.
Angelica Deno,
welcome.
she's one of my writing partners. So we've been writing music. Lidico is here, Deep Low Shade.
Well,
Hello,
thanks
hello.
for Grace for being in the chat.
That's awesome.
Edwin,
Yeah.
Diplo Shade, Edwin, DD Dynamite's
Samo
here.
in the
Yes.
house. Yep.
Samo
CD
had a
Samo.
question for you a while ago. I don't
Yeah.
know if I
I
can
think that
track
the
it down.
question was DJ Spen your mentor?
Well,
You know?
yeah, so when I got sick, he was one of those people who like lifted me up because he was, we were starting like some sort of a relationship. He kind of saw what I had, and he was like, "Yeah, let me see if I can help you out." And then as soon as that relationship was starting out, I found out I was sick. Like, oh shoot, this can't be happening. Like, I'm
Wow.
just starting to build something, and then I got sick. So yeah, Spen was like, yeah, let me. So yeah, he prayed for me. Like we were on the phone. I was crying, man. Then this guy was just praying for me, trying to lift me up, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll get through this." Before you know it, yeah, a year like after 7, 8 months, I was cancer free, and I learned yeah, and we finished a whole bunch of songs. Like during that time, I also did an album.
So
It's
how many
crazy.
do you know approximately, or do you know exact number? How many music did you create during
I no,
that span?
I didn't really count. I was just
But
like
that's
making
probably a
music.
lot, right? So you got their first album
Yeah, I
back
put
then,
out my album. Yep.
and then the party people, right? I heard you were doing that during your chemo. What
Yeah, I
inspired
did.
you? How did that happen? Did you bring? Were you actually on the chemotherapy when you, or in the hospital when you're doing it?
Yeah, I was in the hospital. So, Spence sent me a bunch of projects. He was like, "Yo, you want to work with Crystal Waters?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yes.
So, why would I say
Great boy.
no? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I said yes to one project. It was track. So initially, so we worked on two songs with Crystal Waters. The first one was called Heavy. It was produced by this guy from the UK named Hi-Fi Sean, and Crystal liked it. Hi-Fi Sean, he's a big producer in the UK, and he liked it. So Spen was like, "Yeah, let's do one more song with Crystal. She's willing to write the song." And I sent them this idea for Party People, which I just wrote. I just wrote it on a keyboard, just played some drums, and you know, like 3, 4 months later on, Spen sends me a demo because I sent the music to spend and spend because what we do is like we go back and forth sending ideas between me and Spen, and I sent him the idea, sent me back, and then he sent it to Crystal Waters. Then Crystal Waters sent the finished music, and yeah, before you know it, Party People was almost ready to go. So 2020, early 2020, we were ready to release that thing, and then the pandemic happened. Like
I
the
think
music is
it
ready.
became a staple of everybody not going out, and everybody love it. When did you first hear it on air? I mean, do you remember that the time? And tell me what are you feeling when you did that?
So I was like, man, what's going on? Because I was like, there's no way I'm working with the Crystal Waters. Out of all people, this is like an icon. And oh, Benji's here. Hi, Benji. Yes, yeah,
Oh,
it's getting
Benji
moist
Bradshaw,
right
right?
now. Yep, Benji Bratcher's here.
Yeah.
Um, where was I? Yeah, I heard the demo. I was getting chills. So I was like, I was ready. I'm ready to play this thing. Let's put this out, and I'm ready to play it in clubs. Then the pandemic happened. I was like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna put this out?
Yeah.
We have a club song, but clubs are closed. So that was like the dilemma that we had. And after like several, discussions, like we was like, yeah, let's just put it out there. Let's see what happens. Venus Maxino's in the house. I keep getting distracted by this chat. So anyway, we put out the record, and it became number one in track source. It's crazy. Like we kind of know we had a hit. Sometimes you have something, and we knew the Party People was going to be a hit. It was just a matter of timing. I just didn't feel confident that putting out the club record when clubs are closed didn't make any sense really. But yeah, before you know it, everyone was singing it, and whenever, especially in the UK, it became such a big hit in the UK. So whenever I play there, like I need to play Party People, or else people are going to be mad.
Well, all
So yeah,
versions of it have got to be the most played track the whole pandemic on Twitch.
yeah,
Mr.
it
Coops
was
would hear it
crazy.
every day, from especially from Filipino DJs. You'd hear it every stream. But yours
Wow.
is a
Yeah.
different. Yours was a remake, which was totally different vibe, and like you said, a club track, but still worked over the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah. Yep.
and a lot of Filipinos actually very proud. Filipino DJs keep playing it, very proud that our own, Filipino kababayan Mike Rick produced this song. So we are all proud of that, Mike. Just to let you know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Um, um, so now you have this IRL, gig and everything. You have it set up, and then pandemic came and it shut down, and then they can't. Then come Twitch. How did you get into Twitch?
Um, I didn't get into Twitch. Well, we were talking about what are we gonna do? Clubs are closed. Like I've like learned to love DJing. I've learned to appreciate it as an art form, and I've gotten so used to always being DJing, going out, and
Yeah.
like, what am I gonna do? So yeah, that's the first thing we thought of. Like, find a platform where we can stream. So we tried Facebook. Like, Facebook knocked us off. Everyone went through that. Everyone went through the Facebook phase, and Facebook just didn't work. And next thing you know, like, everyone was. So I have a good friend. I don't know if you guys remember Abco Music. She's a good friend of mine. We worked on a couple of tracks together, and she told us about Twitch. And she was one of the first DJ partners that I know, and she's a good friend of mine. I was like, yeah, let me try Twitch. So what she did was she invited me to on her stream. She had like a rooftop stream, and she invited me, and I just DJ, and I was like, oh, this is fun. You get to see people interact, people chat. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's where I kind of like, let me start my own stream and do this thing Twitch. And I told Spen, and Spen told everyone, told David Morales, told a whole bunch of DJs, and before you know it, everyone is on Twitch. Everyone is on Twitch DJing. So yeah,
And
that's the
the
crazy
first
thing.
time you did it, what was the, how do you feel? What was the difference between this online, performance versus, how you used to
It
clubs and
felt it
whatnot?
felt weird. It felt weird because I was like, when I first started, I didn't have a microphone. I was just DJing. But it's nice that I had people watching. I can see what they're saying, and I learned how to just type whatever I wanted to say instead of using the mic. So I was just typing, chatting pretty much with people.
Yes, yes,
And
yes. You said yes, yes, yes.
no, I didn't have the yes, yes, yes yet. Because the yes, yes, yes started because I just love how Carl Cox would always say yes, yes.
Yes, 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 yeah.
Because Carl Cox always did that. He used to
Oh
like,
yes, oh yes.
oh yes,
Yeah,
oh yes, yep,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what he did.
Our
And I'm
Cox.
like, yeah, and let me try that, and it worked, and people liked it.
It's actually a great greeting because it's short, but then
Yep,
you
you kind of
address
acknowledge
the
everyone,
audience,
yo,
right?
whoever, yeah, yes, yes.
And I think that's what that's at least I know the NBHD crew, Sound Decision, Gus, and of course Grace. They all started with no mic. Like we even have like a no mic command because everybody was not used to it, and then just chatting. I think for you DJs um uh on set is hard, right? uh how did you transition to that? How did you become, like you said, you became comfortable? Is it because of just repeatedly doing it every week, or it's just that you, oh, did we lose the mic? Oh, we did lose my, hold on a second.
So we'll
uh,
try to get him back.
did that
So
did I
it's
say
like
something wrong?
you probably did.
You did, yeah.
Did Mike got pissed
Yeah,
off at me? No, I think he
you know.
dropped. We'll wait for him to go back. But this is a
Yeah.
great conversation. While we're waiting for Mike, let's just say hi to the chat. There are a lot of people here. If you guys don't know Benji Bradshaw, another great artist, you should see him perform. Hey Benji, I think, we saw you on the House of Yes. Me and Grace, we were at the floor. We didn't get into the stage because the bouncer won't let us in for
Yeah,
some
if
reason.
it's your first time here, please type
Yeah,
in your Twitch
yeah. Please follow
username
a lot of
so we can follow
oldest
everyone.
artists and streamers on Twitch. the our all NBHD family while we work.
Chris Melendres is on the audience here.
So
Welcome, Chris.
my Mike Freak said my computer died. I think I did that once on Grace's stream. I didn't plug my computer and we were streaming, and it's like 5 minutes in. We forgot that
You
we're
you could
out.
get
We
carried
always-
away when you get
Uh-huh.
started. You'll get carried away, and you will forget. Any stories, Gus, from you losing power? I remember
There's
something
a
happened
lot
there.
of a lot of things. Yeah, yeah.
There he
He's back.
is.
There you
Back.
go.
Welcome back.
You forgot the most important thing
Yeah, because I
to
forgot.
do
Yeah, my
to plug it in.
Yep. I
Where
told
were
you
we?
I've been working all evening setting up streams and setting up our stream with Spin. I've totally forgot to plug this thing, but I'm back. Sorry,
No,
guys.
no
So
worries.
I know.
What was
I
the
know
question
our
again?
no, our train of thought was kind of cut off. But I have a question before.
Yeah.
If this is what I've been wanting to ask this since this morning. If you were to listen to somebody and you only had Twitch, who would it be? You fire up the app and who would you look for and listen to?
Dang, that's hard. I don't know. It's a tough question.
Depends on the
No,
day.
Yeah, it depends on the day. Because sometimes I even watch a couple of shows on Twitch. Like
let's
there's
say early morning when you want to get your coffee and get started. I know I like to listen to Onibako in the morning. Just a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
energy, no talking.
yeah,
Vinyl and stuff. But
vinyl. Yeah, I love vinyl DJs. I don't know. That's a tough question because
yeah, you
like
don't
it
have
it,
to
it,
answer.
it, would- it would depend on my mood, and a lot of
Right,
times, and
right.
I don't listen to Twitch in the morning. I usually get on Twitch in the afternoon, like
Mm,
after work, or if I need a break from like studio work or whatnot, I
mm,
just get on Twitch and say hi, hello.
mhm.
So to a whole bunch of people.
I guess whoever's on, you try to
Whoever's on,
visit, you
but it's
visit
like a
their.
favorite. I just it's just hard to say because I always see Twitch as kind of like a social media. Well, it is a
It,
social media
it
thing,
is. It is.
and sad. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't think I can answer
Oh,
that.
yeah,
No, we
well,
don't need
that's
to.
fair. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're a big supporter of a lot of the NBHD fam. I think we thank you for that. Not just not NBHD, but a lot of other Filipino DJs. I see, you supporting also the NBHD Raid Train.
Hmm.
From time to time, even if you're not on it. So,
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Yeah, my favorite part is like I've met a whole bunch of Twitch people in real life. So some of them have gone to gigs, some of them I've like, you know, well, a whole bunch of them I met through gigs actually.
Yeah.
Like I've
Mm,
met Mr. Coops and Grace. They went to New York when I played House of Yes, and Tony LeBron I've met. Like a whole bunch of the people here in the chat I've met. Angelica, Benji. So yeah, in the UK, like a whole bunch of those people came when I played, and so I guess if there's one Twitch accomplishment I can put out there, so I've met a whole bunch of people on Twitch in real life, which is great. Like I've met Samo in Vegas. I played in Vegas. Samo was there. Several people flew in. Benji, Dada, who's always in my chat, flew.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you said accomplishment on Twitch. Have you ever thought about going for partner on
Uh,
Twitch?
Here's the thing, man. I don't think about numbers. I never think of numbers. I just I just stream because I love it. I love DJing. I love showing music to people, and numbers. I don't care. I'm
That's
not.
great.
I'm not. I care about 69 though. That's
There's only one number you care
that's the
about.
only thing I care about. 69. No,
Wait. I've been meaning to ask this. Why the 69? I
I
mean, it could be a lot of different numbers, but we want to know from the Mr.
Yeah.
69 itself. Why 69?
there's no reason. There's no rhyme. Like you know, just I don't know. I don't know
It's
where
a
Just
that
great
stuck with
came
it.
number.
from. Yeah, it's
It's
a
the
great
best number.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good 69. So
Yeah,
you
you can
know.
go either way. Any side will work, right? So great. Okay, good. I
Put
just
it on the
wanted
poll, boy
to.
G. Put it on the
It's
poll, boy G. Is 69
the
Yeah.
best number.
The
the best
69
number in the
best
world?
number.
69 is
I didn't.
equality. That's good.
Oh, equality.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
do you say it's equality? Oh, okay. See, George is saying
He has
69
to
is
Yeah.
expound
equality.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but going back to
But
what you said about numbers, right? So yeah, I think that's true. I mean, a lot of people want to get that purple check, right? But
um,
to your point, it's
I don't
just
care.
really
Uh,
I
entertaining,
guess
right?
you have to
I
obsess about numbers if you want to be a
I
partner.
mean,
So that
so yeah, you have to go crazy about it. And sometimes, there are days I just can't stream because my first priority will always be to make music. And
Mhm.
Okay.
without any music that I'm playing, my Twitch streams, there's no point for me to, stream. So my priority was always be to make music, and then Twitch is, where I showcase that
Yep.
whatever, music I finish, or, if I want to share good music with people. So I'm hoping, people who are there enjoy what I'm playing. That's pretty much it. And then chat, I just love chatting pretty much. So, but as
We
far as
all
like a good reaching for partner, trying to, it's not my priority. It's not my thing. So if I make partner, I make partner. If I don't,
Yeah,
that's
and that's the
I'll
hours
be fine.
commitment alone, right? How long?
Yeah,
What's your longest stream? How
six, six,
six?
6.9.
How was that at 6.9? How was that?
No,
We
I mean, I don't know. It was fun because when you stream a long set, sometimes you just don't care about what's going on. You just play the music, and I think if I was like trying to remember, I think that's the longest I've streamed, 6 hours.
what's your usual hours per
I
day?
just do two. I just do two, or sometimes if I'm feeling it, I could go for hours. But a lot of times, like I'm on two raid trains that I do regularly, which I'm really committed to. So that is the Mighty Oosh
Yep.
and Just House. Yep, and these are people that I've met in person as well. So yeah, that's the raid train that I've really committed to. Like Just House, I've met like Tony
Mm.
Ron's part of Just House, Roger, a whole bunch of them. I've met in real life. So
Are
those,
they Sundays also? Just house?
yeah.
What
For on Sundays I do the Mighty
the
Oosh.
Mighty Use, right? So
Yep.
I'm
So
actually getting some of the Mighty Use to collab with NBHD. I'm talking to
yep.
Chris Morgan right
Yeah,
now. So
Chris
say if
Morgs.
you yeah,
Yep.
so if he wants to play, there are a bunch of great crew. I
Yeah.
mean, they welcome Grace on
Yeah.
that. Thanks to
That's
you, of
yep.
course.
Yeah. So the Mighty Oosh is mostly UK. So like 2 years ago, I played in London, and these crew just came there. Like a whole bunch of them came over from Twitch. So yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that one. So I had like a picture of like the whole crew, everyone from Twitch. It's like one big happy family right there in a picture. So yeah, that's been great. That's been a great experience. So Twitch has been great. I really enjoy the community. I really value the people that show up in the chat. So I don't look at numbers. I try not to worry about it, and I try not to stress because I don't like I analyze numbers. I look at it, but I kind of like I look at what I need to do to be better. But people will be coming and going, so I can't like force people, and
Mhm.
whoever's there is there, and I'm happy who if you're there. If you're not, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be able to DJ and have an audience. So that's my thing.
That's a great
And
one.
it's the same thing when you're playing a real life gig. Like I've played like shows where there's no one there, but I enjoy DJing nonetheless. I played, you know, gigs where there are like hundreds of people, and I enjoyed it either way. So
Same,
you
same,
just
same.
yeah. So I guess having a even keel like thinking and not worrying about numbers, not worrying about who's there. You kind of just enjoy the journey of film.
So
DJ.
let me. I'm going to ask you, DJs, about that. And I'm I'm a math person. I love numbers too, right? But sometimes it's dragging me down. But for you DJs, like seeing when you open, you said there's only 10 people versus 100, right? How do you handle that stress? Because for me, I that's why I'm not a DJ, because I will think about, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing something? How do you guys deal with that? In real life and even on Twitch, right? If you only see this small number of people and you're busting your ass off going there and performing, what's that feel like? I just want to, to your perspective,
Well, well, two things because DJing in real life is different
right?
than DJing on Twitch. Those are two different things.
Okay.
The sometimes the music that you play on Twitch will not work on in a club, or sometimes the
True.
music that you play in the club will not work on
Work on
Twitch.
Twitch. Yep, I agree that.
So, there's a different energy in both places. So in the club, you get your energy from the people in front of you,
Yep.
and on Twitch, you just look at the chat and see how it's going, and you go from there. And those are two different environments, and you really can't compare it. But how do I say that? It's just two different things. It's easy. Here's the one thing I've learned though in DJing: it's easy to play a packed club than playing a for 5 people.
It's the
Surely.
easiest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the easiest
Yeah.
Like,
thing to ever
The
play. Like,
energy's already there.
yeah,
You just keep going.
you
Yeah.
just keep going because you
Yeah.
already, the club is
Because
packed. All you
when
need
you
to do
see,
is just play good music. You're gonna keep that.
yeah,
With a
and yeah,
small crowd, you can play the best music ever. If it's not
Yeah.
cutting it, it's not cutting
yeah,
it.
the five
So
could be zero in a matter
yeah,
of the
yeah,
next track. Like
yeah.
you
that's
lost them, and
Yep.
that's
So
even
yeah,
more.
in a packed club, you can lose 5 people. It's fine. There's another 5 that's coming back. you
yeah.
know.
That's very interesting. I did not see that way. I was always think that if you have a packed club, it's more nerve wracking. That's why you get those,
No,
nerves, and you're gonna make mistake
no.
and you're thinking
I'm
about it.
not. I'm more nervous if there's 5 people and then those 5 people are not dancing. They're not feeling what I'm doing.
I
It means
get
I'm
that. That
failing.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense because
When you have 200 people, you lose five,
you
you
know you're
lose 10. There's. I mean, if people will still come. People will be coming back. So it's easy to DJ a pack club than
I guess
yeah.
that makes sense because at that point, it's packed, they like it, then you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting. I learned something today. I mean, again, I might stream soon, so I'm just asking these questions. So,
Yeah.
Yep, we got open days on Fridays, Wednesdays on
There you
NBC on
go.
Twitch.
no,
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
please.
I'm not DJing. That's grace for me.
You can
So
do your
everything.
special alternative night
I will play
with
Yeah, there you
alternative
go.
which
songs though.
like Mike
Today.
Freak was a band musician, so come on, play some
Yeah.
of
So
your
I'm gonna play
alternative stuff.
Filipino bands, Mike. So you can come and then listen to that because I'm gonna get the old '90s Filipino bands on Twitch. See how that work.
Mhm.
Well, going back to balancing health and creativity. Obviously you're a cancer survivor. Health challenges can be demanding. You have to keep up. What you're eating because you don't want to go back to that. How do you manage or prioritize health and also staying creative, making all this music?
Mm, for me, it's more of like for me, it's an obsession because I just want to make music and I just want to. That's been you know something that's been a part of my life now, and I have to be doing something musical every day. So either I'm DJing, I'm making music, I'm listening to music, and it's a matter of discipline. I don't think it. I was just talking to several people about it, like the difference between those great people and talented people, the great ones have the discipline. They don't really have the, because talent is something you can develop if
Mhm.
you have the discipline. So you may suck at something, but if you
Well,
have the
persistent
discipline to
about it.
work, yeah, you wake up, you know what you're gonna do, then that's a win right there. So for me, my win would always be I need to make music every
Music.
day.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes you just don't have it. Like, there are days when you try and create something and it sucks. But I don't
Eh,
care. I'm gonna keep working at it. I'm gonna make it better. Or if not, I'm gonna move to another project, but it's still music. So I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. So in days where you don't have any inspiration, you keep working at it. It's kind of like, an athlete mentality. We keep making it a routine.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, if you're playing basketball, you work on your jump shot. You do that every single day. You get good at it. It's the same thing with music. You work at it, you develop it, you keep working at it, even in those days when you just don't have it. So kind of like
Exactly.
when I do Twitch, like there are days where I just don't feel like doing it, but I'm committed to the thing, and I'm gonna play because I'm
Yeah.
committed to it. You know, and it's the same thing for making music. Like, if I have bad days, I'm gonna keep making music. So
Can
yeah,
somebody put? Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Can somebody put that back on the chat? What Tony LeBron had said about the number of people. I really want to just hone on that one. This is
yep,
actually a very
excellent
great
point.
point.
I got
Excellent
you.
point by Tony
I
right
got
there.
you.
Uh, Tony LeBron said, if you're worried about who isn't there in chat or in club, so that's both in Twitch and in real life, your approach is wrong. You need to respect people's time. Great point. Who showed up? These people are giving you 2 or more hours of their time that you should be spending their family. So I respect the time they shared. Play the same consideration you will love for 5,000, even if it's five. This is a very, very great point. Thank you, Tony, because I think a lot of DJs or streamers are worried about, a lot of these numbers, right? I think if you keep this mentality, you're always gonna have fun. And then
Mhm.
we always said that that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this show. We could have been spending this time with the family, but we're doing this because it's fun and we want to show content. I think that's a very great point, Tony. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, what was the question? Samuel, how many terabytes of music do I have? I don't know. I don't count. I have lots. I have lots of
Yes,
music.
he's not a
Yeah.
numbers guy. He just plays
he
music.
doesn't. Yeah, Samo, he's not into numbers. Nah, just kidding.
Yep.
Samo,
Except the favorite number.
Looks like
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
yeah. The number
just
exists. They
just
say.
send just send a memory stick to Mike. He's gonna copy those. He's gonna give you some
Yeah.
of those. Yep.
Guys, buy his music.
Yeah, but
Show
yeah,
Yes.
some
so
Yes.
love.
That.
Buy
That's
his
exactly.
good.
music.
Buy
Yep.
his
That's
music.
good.
That
That's
would
how
be
we
the
can
best way
buy.
to.
Yeah.
That's the best way to support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Buy some music.
Or stream it on Spotify, even if I don't get a whole lot of money on Spotify.
yeah. There you go. Let's do that. Future aspirations. In music production, you reach that height. Any specific other projects that you still want to do? Any collaboration with somebody that you want uh
Mm,
in the industry?
right now, uh, shoot, I never really think about that. So yeah, Spen and I started a label called QU3. So that's my main focus right now. So I work with, yeah, I would like to get a Grammy. That's a good point by Angelica.
There you go.
Yeah, I would like to get a Grammy. Um, what was the question? So yeah, some projects just come my way. I don't even know how that happens, but yeah, every now and then I'll get introduced to someone, and like this, like late last year, I got introduced to group that did the music with Shaggy, who did It Wasn't Me. So
Uh,
yeah, I did a remix for them, and it's crazy. Like, you know, because Shaggy's like a pop icon back in the day, and
Mhm.
then so Bobby Shaw, you know him as Bobby Pro.
Brum, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Bob Shaw, yep.
So yeah, Bobby Shaw is like one of the legends in dance music. You guys should have him too. Bobby. Bobby's like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to music.
I was actually talking to him a few days ago, and he said yes. He
Yeah,
just wanted us to meet him for lunch one time in New York.
yeah, true. So he introduced me to those guys, and before you know
Mm.
it, that the remix I did was like blowing up on Spotify. Like in a couple of days, it was like we were getting like 50,000 plays on it. It's like crazy. So
Wow.
yeah. Um. So I try not to think of like people I want to work with. I kind of my thing is maybe I can attract those people who will want to work with me. So yeah,
That's a great point.
starting with this label that we started. So I have like people like Angelica who I've worked with, Benji Bradshaw. I've done work with Tony through because Tony runs a recording studio as well. So I've worked with him kind of like indirectly. So you, you kind of like just make your thing and hopefully you'll attract the right person. Because like with Crystal Waters, I didn't really think that I want to work with Crystal Waters, but before
Yeah.
you know it,
Happened.
I'm working with Crystal Waters. So you just keep working, and your persistence, your discipline, it's gonna you're gonna draw those people. I believe. It's the one thing I believe in.
Uh, d- what inspired me was all these answers from you, Mike, is that you have the right attitude. I think that's what makes every artist successful, right? Is to never give up, just push to what you want, and also enjoy what you're doing, right? I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel that
I think that's important too. Because
yeah,
if I didn't really enjoy it, if I wasn't really crazy about it, I've you know probably given up. I'd probably be doing something else.
yeah.
Yeah, because
If you're
yeah.
no, go
Go
ahead, go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
no, no, I'm just gonna ask if you're not doing music, what do you think you're doing? I mean, have you ever thought about that? If
No,
it's not
no,
music,
I
okay,
never really thought
there you go.
about it. Nope, I didn't really. There was
I always thought
no.
to be a fireman. That's why I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut, but that was it.
I think we all are. I mean, for
Yeah,
some point in time, we all want to be astronauts, right? But you just want to. I mean, it's in your blood. You grew up with it, uh, and you just want to just
is,
create music.
yeah. Is there a time
You
that you
see,
almost
yeah, there's
no?
a question, Chris
Well,
Melendez.
actually, it happens a lot. Like every now and then, like I'll question myself, like, why am I doing this? And yeah, kind of like that attitude, like why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I love it. So
Yep.
you don't you'll question it. You'll have doubts because yeah, everyone goes through that. I have doubts every day. Like, dude,
Mm.
what I'm doing sometimes it don't make no sense. But since I've developed a habit, I'm gonna sit down and make music no matter what. But yeah, I doubt myself a million times every day. Like this, there are people I talk to every day. I have doubts. Like am I am I doing the right thing? But I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like the next day, I'll come back. Like I'll send another thing. Hopefully, what the music I make makes sense to you know make sense. So
Yeah, and that proves that even with your cancer journey, right? Instead of really stopping and then feeling the world is down, you kept pushing through it and just made music. So that just proves that you don't want to stop, right? Because the music really is the one that kept you going.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, music is kind of like the one thing that saved me.
It's like work for people, right? There are people who actually don't want to retire because they feel that if they stop, that's going to be the end of them. I think that's true for you, right? If you, I'm not saying it's going to be the end of you, but what I'm saying is if you stop doing it, you might get into this, mode that that it's going to be all negative, right? So I think
Mhm.
music for you is still one to keep you going.
It is. It is the one thing. There's a whole bunch of other things. Like I have my wife is there. My family's been supportive. I have faith as well. So those are the things. They're important. They're as important as music. But the family always is first for me. Faith, and then music is kind of like what's kind of sustains all that. So that's been that's been my mantra right there.
That's a good combo.
Yeah,
Family, faith, and tie it all up with music. That's a great
yeah,
combination.
yeah. Well, I try. That's why I try. I mean, it's, sometimes it's never perfect. Sometimes you won't have it, but you have to keep working on those things.
Right. So to all people listening there, music. This is really truly music. Music is life. And to Samo's point, right? If there's something that's going to be obsessive, it's great. It's going to be music, right?
Yeah.
Not something else, right?
hmm
All right.
Even
No,
yeah,
no,
even if
go ahead.
even if you look at the great artists, you look at Michael Jackson, you look at Kobe Bryant, these the great ones, they kind of obsessed over the one thing that I wanted. So that's kind of like my mentality right there. So yeah.
Do have one question. Are you trying to get Adidas to sponsor you on all your streams?
Good question.
Yeah, I
No,
noticed this right every time, and you pick up the good Adidas logos. These are the old school Adidas. Right?
yeah. I don't know. When when I got sick, I collected a whole lot of hats, and I just like the Adidas logo. And before you know it, I was like, my shoes were Adidas. I don't have any any other shoes other than Adidas. So
Oh, seriously?
yeah,
This is
Wow.
coming from a guy who's from Baltimore, the Under Armour town.
Under Armour. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's going with Adidas. So,
Mm, Adidas the
Wow.
food.
Yeah, we will we will send some to Adidas, some of your show so that they could, they could sponsor you.
Mm. I
you
mean,
gotta tag me.
I don't like have any specific brand, but every now and then, I just for hats and shoes, I just love Adidas. That's it.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you're excited about right now? That
Um,
is it a secret? Do you have to wait?
no, it's. I mean, it's fine. So yeah, with this label that we started with Spend, it's called QU3. Like my favorite thing about it is I help other artists grow. So I'm helping other artists to, it's kind of like my way of giving back. There are people that I've worked with here in the industry, here on Twitch, outside of Twitch, that I'm trying to help out. So I'm trying to give pointers, so trying to help them produce songs and whatnot, trying to put their music out on the label. Since we have a little platform right there, might as well use it for
Mhm.
to help other people. So if I've been given a platform, might as well use that. And so now we've signed a whole bunch of people from, yeah, from some of them are from Twitch, some of them are from outside of Twitch, but yeah, so I'm hoping those people that I'm helping become successful as well. So that's another thing I'm obsessing about. So
Oh, that's
yep.
good.
So yeah, we're working on doing shows, having albums, um, yeah, having a showcase to having doing shows to showcase those talents. So stay tuned for that. I'm pretty excited. Also, with that label, we have a couple of big names. So which stay tuned for that one. So it's the label is you can buy the music on Beatport and Track Source and all the fun stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So you are only so Grace. They're only 3 hours away. I mean, come on. Let's
Yeah.
let's go to Mike Rico. I
You
know
can
Mike.
always
Yeah, I
you
know.
can
I've been
always come
texting
here.
you. Yeah, I know. But we've been texting back and forth, and with Grace, I know she's looking for a mentor, and you said you'd gladly take her.
Oh
So
yeah.
I might take up you on that. We might take
Oh
up you
sure,
on that.
man. Yeah, I'm
I'm just
always
a driver though, so I'm not the artist. So you okay? That's great. So, Mike, thank you for that. We're gonna go to the next segment of the show. This is the fun show called Outside of beyond the neighborhood. So we can actually want to include you in some of our topics that are outside of
Sure.
Twitch, and we want to get your perspective. So this is the next segment called Beyond the Neighborhood. All right, this show, not this show, this segment, we only have one topic today, and I think this topic we will all be, we all know, we all can contribute to it. So, DJ Pat, what's our topic on Beyond the Neighborhood?
So there was a recent podcast from the Daily, and it was talking about the hybrid worker malaise and how we've gotten here since the pandemic. And as you know, we are all most of us are doing or participating in some kind of virtual space, including the show, which we're
Hmm.
doing from different locations. And you can attend your church virtually. You could, I mean, I've seen some of the sports teams that meet online when they're talking about their games. You see it from college classes. In 2024, where are we with the hybrid work arrangement? I know I'm a blue collar worker, so I'm not affected by this. But you, Gus, and Mr. Coops, you're into this. You're a participant in the hybrid workspace. What are what is happening? Is this a great arrangement? Do you see any changes?
So, before I answer that, I think I'm going to have Mike. I'm curious because Mike is a teacher, right? And teaching music, right? How does this affect? Well, first of all, before we do the hybrid, how does this affect you and COVID? How did you cope up with teaching music, especially remotely? What was that? I mean, what was that like?
I mean, the only thing that was hard for me is like, how do I explain to kids, you know, it,
The focus?
how to focus, how to like, because when you're in front of your computer, you get distracted by a whole lot of stuff. Like even me myself, I'm trying to teach, but I'm like checking out what's going on Twitch, or I'm going I'm on YouTube. Yeah,
Distraction is a huge
I
thing.
struggle myself. So it
Sorry about
yeah,
that.
Sorry about that.
that
That's
that's
not.
that's the distraction right there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
was meaning to post this.
yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
So, but even with that now, Mike, are you guys back to hybrid, or is it? Are you? Does that affect you in a way that now things are going back to normal?
I mean, I'm back to teaching, but the other aspects of my music life, like running the label, we've always been online, or meeting with artists. That's always we always do that online. So it's. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because the world has gotten smaller because everything is online. It's easy to access everything. So that's a good thing. But there are sectors that just needs to be done in person. There's no way around it. So
Yeah. On my perspective, though, for me, there's two pieces, right? So the first piece is, at least in my industry, I'm in the IT, right? The first wave when COVID hits, I think it was good, at least for our company, because we have offshore, right? The business was booming because that did not really change. So actually, our work went higher. Now, during the pandemic, after now that everybody's got into it, like slowly, a year and a half after, it's kind of declined because now people, when you're working remote, the work and things in a house, there's no boundaries anymore. They're all intercolliding. It's either
yeah.
you're dropping your kids somewhere or you're in a meeting, or
Hmm.
there's no back and forth. It's hard. So
Right.
for me, it got a little bit distracting. So I think right now, going hybrid and half and half of going back to work. I go 3 times a day now. I try to. I just don't go Mondays and Fridays. I go Tuesdays to Thursdays. But I think that kind of helps out, and I think that also helps out a lot of company to get back into this mode of being together, because everybody got used to being online. I
Mhm.
think that sense of team being a team, and then doing even as small as doing lunches right now are very helpful for just the morale of, at least for the company. At least that's my take
Yeah.
for this type of arrangement.
So, Gus, this is a question for you. Is it more work when you're at home? Is it less productive when you're at home? Do you find it that when you show up at work, you get more production, you get more time, you get more space?
Definitely working from home, it's extended. You don't have any boundaries, as Mr.
Yep.
Coop said, right? So you end up working more at home than in the office. Because in the office, you like at 5, I'm done,
Yeah.
or at 6, I'm done.
Once you clock out,
Yeah,
work is
Okay,
done.
there's a
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
cutoff, right?
Yeah.
There's a
yeah,
hard
There
yeah,
is.
yeah.
cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they feel that they can get you anytime now, because you're online. It's
Mhm.
either on your phone. You have all this messaging tool. Like, you
Yeah.
don't feel like you have that. At this point forward, you can't contact me. So it's become harder at some point.
Yep. Because the first time that we brought in people back in the office, it's like I cannot work because people are just chatting like, "Hey, how are you?" Like the whole day, it's like just chatting with each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
There's
now I think we're bringing people back in like once or twice a day, a
a
week.
week, you
Sorry,
mean?
not a day,
No,
a week.
twice a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want
So
people working twice a
from
day,
what I'm
bro.
yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's a 3-to-2 ratio or a 2-to-3 ratio. Mr. Coop, you said you have a 3-day, two out ratio. I guess that saves you from your commute too, like especially for people in very high cost of living or busy cities where you have to commute for an hour. That saves you some time too.
but
Uh,
but some but some companies bring dudes right now is they give you like free lunch. Like, they have this catering
right.
now, so the
Mhm.
people do it in the office.
Mhm.
I have a client who actually, it's weird that they moved to this new building, and they actually put a Starbucks inside to subsidize so they can get people in. The problem is everybody don't want to go back to work. That's why that new office is a ghost town. So
Yeah, as
it's
a matter
becoming
of fact,
disgusting.
these companies are experimenting with a lot of things that will try to attract more people to come back to work. There's this company that put up some Peloton bikes in some of their rooms. They have game nights. They have yoga middle of the
Mhm.
day and stuff like that. Stuff that they're trying to do, but
It's
I don't think
working.
we can go back. I don't think
Yeah.
it's working, and we'll ever go back
Yeah.
to a 5-day work week. If not, 4 days would be probably be a good,
Yep.
number.
And what we're doing right now is the leaders are actually working now in the office because they need to set
Just set an
expectation, right?
example.
Yeah.
Example. Yep.
So they work more in the office now than the people, because you cannot just say, "Hey, come back to the office now," and then you have your leaders like remote.
From Mike Freak's perspective, I wanna pick your brain. Based from the study, the managers aren't able to give you feedback when you're all working virtually. Like there's no face to face almost with your manager, and you don't get feedback.
I
And
mean,
when you don't get feedback, you probably won't get. You don't know which areas of improvement that you have to do.
you could, you can always email.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I'm just
but you know, there's a different dynamics being in person. Because you get to talk to the person. You know, when you're talking with someone in front of you, you talk differently as opposed to when you're talking with someone online. When you're
I
you're,
guess
you're
that's
just
what
chatting with, yeah, that.
the studies taking.
So
Yeah.
yep. So those are the things that you have to consider, and plus, if the company does well online, why would you want to bring
Change it.
people back?
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, if you're being
Yeah.
productive, so
There's a
you,
lot of
there's
studies
a
that
lot of
yeah, productivity is high at an all-time
yeah,
high actually.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
want to put
It's
yeah.
kind of hard to say, but it really depends on the company and the industry you're in. Because like I was reading Samo, like you know, if you can do work and get the job done online, then why not? Since a lot of
Do
the
you
stuff we do, you know,
do you guys feel more stress having to work from home? Because there's other stuff to think about. You have your kids.
Mhm.
You got to take to basketball practice. You got stuff in the kitchen. You want to put in a workout. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Are you
it's
guys more stressed, or how do you feel?
Uh, I won't say I'm stressed, but I kind of learned how to balance it. It's all about setting boundaries, right? When I can do it and when I can. If you get that schedule, it's all about scheduling. Once you get that schedule, you can even squeeze a golf round in. I'll be honest, but it's all about putting those guardrails so that you know when you're actually working, but and when you're not, and also still delivers. I think that's what the key is. At least
Gus,
for me.
any stress, or you're just happy to
Um,
be
I don't
playing
have any stress. I mean,
games?
it's fine. No, I'm not playing games. But I can play games, but I don't play games. But sometimes I do. The good thing is that I can
and
sleep.
if you can play
You can
games, play
sleep.
games.
You
You
can
have a
sleep.
Hey,
you have time to sleep during the day.
Yeah,
That
because if you need to think, you need to
You
sleep.
need to
Because
sleep.
yeah,
Matter of fact, Google has resting
yeah,
lounges. So he's just true to the fang culture
yeah,
of companies.
yeah.
is that why
That's
you
the
have that?
that
Is that why
yeah,
you
that's the
have
only
that
thing.
massage chair behind you?
Yeah, yeah, you can rest there too. Yeah, the only thing here when I moved to the States is that usually in the Philippines from 12 to 1 you eat your lunch 10 minutes and then you sleep and then you start at 1. But in here it's like you get frowned upon when you sleep at, at work.
You do the siesta back
mm.
there. I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it because if I sleep, I can't do like 15-minute naps. It has to be at least an hour for me. That's why
Um,
it's hard for me to sleep during the day.
You got your 15-minute Twitch breaks though.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
got
I
my
need 15. I'm fine. 15 minutes, I'm good.
He's
yeah.
good.
You
I
can
want
sleep
to.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Wow,
I
power
can't
nap.
do it.
That's the definition of
So
it.
yeah, right here where I'm sitting at is a couch. So this
Right.
is where I usually like.
Ah,
So yeah, I sleep here, then I stream right across. So that's where I stream at.
Beautiful.
Those are the
oh,
plans.
there
I
you
see
go.
that. That's
So
where the
An
yeah,
studio is.
Instagrammable office right
yeah.
there.
So
Instagram
Put
office.
it on the poll, boy G. Is it time to hang up the pajamas and go back to office?
Did you ever,
I
Mike? Did you
wanted
ever
to hear
think
it from
about
the chat.
um what do you call? Do you Twitch in between work? Like when you're working in the day and
so
you have a
say that
break.
again.
Do you stream? Do you do to did you try to stream like during work days, like you have like a lunch break? Have you tried?
No,
I
I've
know
never done
other
that.
people does it.
I know some people have done that. Yeah, I know a couple of streamers who do that. I mean, if you can do it, well, why not? But I need
That
to fully concentrate on what I'm doing. I can't like multitask really.
So what
So
I'm getting is it's what we're doing now is just perfect. It's just the right balance. You could still go in and see people and bond and talk about the Lions, the Eagles, and then other days you're home and and
yeah,
working. Working hard. I mean, it's like I think the podcast is a little bit skewed towards wanting to people come back because New York Times is a press newspaper company. They want their people in. But do you guys think? I mean, you Gus, you work for a company with thousands of inventors and scientists and all that. Will there be inventions that are done over Zoom or Teams?
I guess it depends on what they're trying to invent. I mean, there are still some. Most of our R&D folks are in the office. They're not
There you
gonna
go.
be in.
A
Yeah.
lot of your folks never went virtual. I know that for a fact. The shift
No. Yeah.
workers
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
R&D did
very
not. Yeah.
they never
wait,
left
wait, what company do you work for? Or
Dow.
if you don't,
a
the
huge
Dow.
Dow,
chemical
Dow
company.
Chemical.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you believe that on the recording? Because Gus
Yeah,
signed
I
an
think we have to
NDA.
bleep that on the recording. He's one of the best scientists at Dow, so we,
oh, dang.
Yeah. But Mike, same question though. Do you ever see any collaboration being done online? Like,
a life
truly
changing. It
for
has to be a life changing invention over Twitch, over a Zoom or over Teams.
over Zoom or whatever, right? Over Teams or do you think that that's gonna happen?
Oh, collaborations like
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
just
I
yeah.
mean, I've been like a lot of even before. I mean, a lot of the
I think
collaborations I've done like people I've never really met in person.
there's enough technology. I think that
yeah, there's
people will be
technology
able
for that.
to create
So
something. Yeah.
especially now, you can Dropbox everything, and like I can record at home and then send it to somebody, and then someone will record something, then they'll send it back to me. So that's how we've been,
Yeah, perfect
you know.
example is music. You can collaborate,
Yeah.
go back
Hmm.
and forth, and look it
Right.
over, listen to it
Hmm.
together. It's almost the same thing. I mean, like
Yeah.
Gus's company has a lot of life changing stuff being invented.
Mhm.
So I bet they'll still
Yep.
see each other because they have to.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing that is a little bit something that I want to say is that for new employees, I don't know what's the impact of being remote because
Uh
I
oh.
kind of feel that they don't have that. I don't know. It's probably like what do you call that?
Are you talking
I
about new
forgot the term.
employees or just pretty much
Generational.
new
New, like
graduates? New graduates
new
just
graduate that are coming
coming
in,
in.
or
Okay.
even experienced people that are coming in as new employees, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Because they wouldn't, you wouldn't have that sense of like being when you were talking face to face with each other, and then now it's just gonna be remote. It's totally different, right? So
I can
That's what
see
I'm
that
talking about.
on the on the new upcoming, right? This is my new job. I'm going in. The experience is not the same for all of us who got just thrown into the wolves, right? And then just figure it out. But I think though, Gus, for the experienced one, I think this is especially the one doesn't care, old farts like us, right? Like I don't really care so much on the lunches anymore. Like I used to do, right? Like if I go to work, I've done my job. I'm not gonna look for that buddy, right? That I will go out for lunch. I mean, of course, before I did, but right now, I think I rather spend it with my family, right? Before
nice.
you're always looking like, hey, your company's offline, and it's not. They will think it's not fun because when you're fresh out of college, you're looking for a new environment. You always look for that same college feel, like you have buddies, you have friends that you go out with, you go out for drinks after, on happy hours. For experienced ones who've done it, I think it's more refreshing. Just my take though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Mhm. I keep telling old farts. I mean, we're not old. Are we old? I
No,
feel
no,
old
no.
though.
You keep,
Unless you're above 69-year-old.
Yeah.
yeah. From
There you
now
go.
on,
Yeah.
that's our
69 is the cutoff right
It's a
there.
cutoff. Yeah,
that's
that's
you.
all.
That's
Yeah.
Oh,
our
we're
yeah.
not there
If
yet.
you're
We're not
below
old then.
69, you're young. If you're way above
Yep. There you
69, you're
go.
old.
You
Yep.
gotta stay young and take those midday yoga classes, guys.
Uh,
Take those nap. 15-minute nap.
yeah.
Uh, um, anything else that you want to talk about, Pat,
Oh,
on this segment?
we're gonna have to move on. There's maybe we'll pick it up on the next topic, or
Yeah,
on the next segment. But I'm done here. I think the conclusion is you guys are comfortable in what you're doing right now, and they
good.
don't have to change it.
That's good.
Like
Well,
Grace Music said, it's all about discipline when you're working from home.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
if you have
But at the
that
same time,
discipline,
change, there's always change happening. So I
Yeah.
guess we
absolutely.
have to adjust to it,
Hmm.
because, there could be another thing that's happening. And
Hmm.
I think that's the key right there. Adjust to the change and pivot if you have to.
absolutely, especially with our
Great.
generation, right?
Yeah.
I think I mean, we experience a lot right now that are different from our parents, right? So it's just faster pace and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're right. We might be having another change soon. All right. So on the next segment, we're gonna do this differently today. There are a lot of good no dumb question. Usually we actually let go of the guests, but I want Mike to participate on this this no dumb question because I want to hear his answers on this no dumb questions. This is the part where
Oh,
we ask the audience any questions that they want to ask all of us here or everybody in the chat. And again, there's no dumb questions. Only the questions that are not asked are the dumb questions. So
Hmm.
our next
All right.
segment, no called no dumb question. All right. So before we ask question to the audience, we have one question right now that we're gonna start with. Uh, Gus, you want to ask this question?
Okay. Yep. First question is, if you could bring back a fashion or any fashion trend, what would it be?
I would like the freak to answer that first.
Oh, dang, that's hard. Uh, shoot, man. I've never done it, but I just enjoyed seeing some of the guys wearing those Jinko pants. I don't do you know those big pants, those jeans, Jinko.
oh, the 90s
Yeah,
baggy? Are you
yeah, the
talking
baggy
about?
ones. Yeah, the
Yeah,
baggy ones. This
That's
is
that's
dude.
going back
yeah,
right now.
yeah. It's kind of like going back too. So
But those back in the day, those were like yards and yards of
yeah,
denim. Like
mom jeans.
Yeah.
Cool. I've always loved mom jeans, and now
mom
they're
jeans are
coming back.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought they're sexy.
they're better
Well, they,
than
they,
low
they're- they
cut.
are back now. Do you know
Yeah,
that they're
they're
back
back.
now? They're back
It's
right now, and you
yeah.
could
Mom
wear a lot
jeans
of
are
these.
better than low cuts because low cuts are not flattering at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
But these are not the MC Hammer pants, right? Or
No, not
No,
the
no, no,
Those
that's
are
a
MC.
even
different. This is the other way
higher
around.
quality.
The head
Yeah.
is like fit. Yeah, this is like yeah. I think somebody
Urban
said this.
Bandits just said the Gerbo generation where
Gerbo.
you
Yeah.
Did you ever
wear
wear
it
a gerbo? Anybody in
backside
the chat
front.
know what the gerbo pants is? Marita
I had one.
Francois Gerbo.
Turbo Francois.
Marie
Yeah,
Francois.
Mario Francois Gerbo.
Those are
But
expensive. Those are
Yo,
expensive, dude. You couldn't afford that.
I was
Those are expensive
so I have a
jeans.
little story. Like, when once I started playing professionally for bands, like I had this one big gig which paid a lot of money. So like the salary I got from that gig, I just bought a pair of those, and
Gerbo, yeah.
yeah, bought a pair of Jerbo, and like I wore it every day for like 5 straight years.
So like
You know, the thing about the
that's worth it
gerbo is
then.
okay. Where's the tag?
I just thought they were cool. Like,
Where's the tag on the gerbo?
it's at the
They
front,
are
bro.
on the fly, right?
Yeah, at the front.
They're
Yeah.
on the front of the fly, right? So
Yeah.
everybody knows the gerbo fans. That's why oh, look at that guy wearing gerbo. Their first thing they're gonna
Yeah.
look is your fly.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
For me, I don't know if you guys remember. I want to do the bell bottoms back, right? Well, back in the day, now I was growing up. I can't
70s.
I can't. Did you say 70s? No.
Yeah, the 70s, bro.
Yeah,
Uh,
uh,
Belt
come on, man.
bottoms.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we're in the province, but we don't have enough money to buy like original Levi's, right? So you only get a Levi's jeans if you actually Christmas somebody give it to you. You go to. I'm from Pampanga, so you go to the expo shop in Clark Air Base to get the new one. But we got these tailors, right, in the Philippines, who are creative enough to actually make this
Oh
Levi,
yeah, I remember those.
right?
Yeah.
They there's this shop, right?
In
They're
Manila,
really good.
yeah, in Manila, what was that place? Recto.
Yeah, they will do this, and then if you want, your bell bottoms are not flary enough. They will actually put extenders. Have you guys know the
Yeah,
extenders?
yeah,
So that is a different color
I
in
know
your
what you're
jeans.
talking
So
about. Yeah, bro.
Oh, you put the triangle, you mean?
the
Yeah, the
triangle, right?
triangle right
So,
there.
I
Yeah.
sported that back then.
Shoot.
That's
was
when
cool.
before I met Grace. So I'm glad
Let's
she
let's
didn't
bring
see
that
me.
look back, man. Let's bring
Wait,
it
so if,
back.
if it if it didn't fit, you're gonna put a triangle also on the waist
Yes,
to
the
make it
other way
good.
around.
Triangle in the waist. Dang.
All
How
you have
about
to
you,
do,
Gus?
you can still do that now. Put the extenders on your true religions.
To
Wow. Then you're gonna wear creepers, Mr. Coops. There you go.
No, no. See, I'm telling you, man, I'm really getting old. I always say that because I don't wear jeans anymore. I don't like. I'm
Who
all
does?
on, for some reason. The past, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years, I'm into khakis. I don't know why. I lost all my jeans. I don't wear them anymore because for some reason I'm more into khakis and dress pants. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, same old beats. I think that's the uniform for customer service
Customer
people.
service.
Khakis.
Oh my god, yes, probably that's what it is.
You're gonna ask Gus about the fashion that he wants to bring back. He can show it every stream. I mean, he's like,
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's probably cross colors, the jeans,
oh
and
wow.
then
Cross
I'm
I don't
colors.
gonna
know. I don't know what that is. I
What
wasn't.
what is that cross colors?
come on.
What
I
is
guess
that?
People, can
Mike,
you
Mike, do you
Google
know that?
cross colors?
No, I've
Please
never heard
What's
of
a
Google.
cross
cross
colors.
color?
What's a cross
Yeah.
color? Oh.
Yo, chat. Please Google cross colors over
okay.
there if you
Then
can
if
find it.
it come on, cross colors, you don't know? Oh yeah, yeah. I guess
Oh, okay. Those like jeans that you put together with different colors.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Must
And
be
then
from the Benetton age.
yeah,
Oh,
Wait, what
or
do you
and
mean put
then if
together?
what's that
like
Two
you
different
know,
color of
different?
jeans?
yeah,
Yeah,
different
different
colors.
colors.
Then you saw them together, and yeah,
It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
very big in the hip hop rap community, I think,
yeah.
right?
Zulu,
So
Zulu
yeah,
nation. Come on.
Zulu
oh yes.
exactly. This is like streetwear from the 80s to the 90s in LA. That's cross colors for you.
Yeah,
Oh
And
yeah.
that's something if you bring that back, I think it's gonna match all your sneakers, dude.
yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Coops is like still not that doesn't know it. So
I'm picturing it in my
It's
head.
from the
you
70s, so
can get it from Cinderella. There you go.
Yeah.
You remember that Cinderella?
Yeah, I know that.
It's funny you said that these stores in the Philippines, right? Oh, you're wearing RL. Oh, that's what Ralph Lauren, no, Rusty Lopez. We all grew up in the Philippines. That's why we know all these brands. It's like really funny that
People in the chat, if you have something, if you have any fashion trends you wanna bring back, please type it in. We would
Yeah.
love to see what taste you wanna bring back in. Giordano brand. Oh,
Giordano.
that's one of the
Giordano
best,
brand.
man.
Giordano, that's the
Spoke,
Hong
you
Kong.
spoken like
There
a
you go.
Filipino there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went home, 2017, that's why I did. I bought a Giordano. I was trying to look for that frog.
Frog.
The frog shirt.
The
Yeah, bro.
frog.
I was trying to
It's
look for
either
that
the
one.
frog or the man.
Yeah.
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 What's the man? I remember that
The
logo.
man,
The
the
man.
The
Yeah,
classic,
man,
the
the
this
first
this
Giordano
yeah, the
classic.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frog
yeah.
was the newer one.
Man, we were so poor. I can only afford the T-shirt there. And you can afford like yeah, they have the polo shirt, right? I used
Those are
to.
expensive. The polo,
Yeah,
the
the polos
polo
are
shirt.
expensive. I used to like sneak out my uncles in the closet, after they do the laundry. I actually take it out so I can wear it.
Mm. Oh, Esprit. Esprit. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that
it's
brand
pretty.
too.
I still have my creepers. What's a creepers? That's from Didi.
You don't know what a creeper is?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a creep? What's a creeper?
Where's the
Oh,
The
those
creeper?
black one, the
are
high heels, the high heel
those
boots,
are from the
high
UK
soles, high
new
soles.
wave scenes. Yeah, those are the tall platform men's leather
Oh,
shoes
okay. Yeah.
that like uh, the emo people would would rock those. Any other
Oh, the
questions,
shoe.
Gus?
I remember the time when a whole lot of people were wearing the Doc Martens.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
from
yams.
the
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the grunge era,
yeah.
right?
Well, it's interesting the fashion right now, and I think we talk about this on another episode. It's like it's just going on circles, right? So all of this what we're talking about in the 80s, if you see the kids now go to New York City,
It
they're
just
all
came back.
wearing it. You
It's
just
just, it's
coming
just
back.
a yeah, it's just a revolution. Fashion
Like
is the side.
yeah, the fast fashion like retail stores right now are all selling that shit right now. Like you go to what are the cheap ones like the kids don't want, like Uniqlo. What is the
Well,
one
that
in
yeah.
yeah, what is the one in New York City? Like a Korean stores, very cheap. Like they all said it's fast fashion, but these are all like, hey, I had this when I was growing up. Oh,
Mm.
I had this.
Yeah, I mean,
It's interesting.
that's why people also love to thrift because they just want to dig
That's
in
true.
to the old. You can probably find cross color somewhere in New York. Really,
Mm.
and
I bet you stick have you guys been thrifting? You guys love thrifting? I mean going to this.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but I just can't stand
I only
the
thrift
smell.
online because
Yeah,
I
I
only want
tried.
one brand, so I go online for it
Yeah.
from the used sites out there.
And also for me, yeah, khakis and then the color selection right now. It's just blue, dark blue, black, plain white. Like
Mm.
it's real it's seriously like, those are my go-tos right now. It's very interesting.
You need cross colors back in your life. Bring in
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
cross
colors,
colors.
man. You guys
Khaki,
look it up.
brown. Come on.
Oh, I
You
love. Well, don't like khakis brown, right? Well, I'm talking about khakis, not just color brown. It's just different colors, just like
just muted
muted
in
colors, right?
neutral
Uh,
ones.
All right. Any other question? No dumb question. Anybody in the chat want to ask a no dumb question?
Please do.
We have from Nutmeg and Spice. That's good. If you
Uh, w-
could watch one movie for the first time again, what would you watch?
I know the answer of some of you.
well, we'll have to ask Mike Freak what that is.
Yeah, let's have
what?
Mike
What?
answer that.
If what is the question again?
Please
About
repeat the question.
Oh yeah, if you could watch one movie for the first time again, what movie would you watch?
Oh, that's. I don't know. That's like I mean I like a lot of movies. That's been my pastime. Like if I'm not doing anything, I just hang out with my family. We watch movies. So I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing Star Wars. I was like blown away by it. So I guess if I could see Star Wars all over again, yeah, the Return of the
which one?
Jedi. The
Episode,
Return of the
episode
Jedi, I
X.
think, was the first Star Wars I've ever seen in the movies. I think one of the first movies I've seen. So
Oh, speaking of right, so speaking of first movie, I probably want to do it similar to what Mike said. My first movie in the movie theaters is E.T.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
a lot
would
of
oh,
like to
people.
watch
E.T.
that again. Yeah, E.T.
Yeah.
is my first ever movie watching in a theater.
Yeah, I would
Ah,
go with Tarantino stuff because those are mind blowing.
Which one?
Which one? Yeah,
Pulp Fiction is awesome, but I'll
Oh,
go
but
with
yeah.
Reservoir Dogs
Reservoir
why not?
Dogs. Yeah,
for
I'm gonna
sure.
be there.
I
That's my top
I'd actually want to
Tarantino.
watch it right now. So
What was his vampire movie again?
Uh,
Mr.
The
Cook,
one
he
with
would.
With George Clooney?
with Salma Hayek.
is that the
Yeah.
one with the machine gun on the boobies? No, that's
No,
That's what you remember in that movie.
no,
Of
that
course, you'll
was
remember that, bro. From
I
Dusk Till
forgot.
Dawn, is that
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
No,
I think
From
it was
Dusk Till Dawn, I think.
I think it was from
oh, from Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, so that's what
that's
it's the guy with
yeah,
chainsaw.
yeah,
Okay,
I like that movie. Yeah.
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 Definitely, that's a must watch, I
How
guess.
about you guys? What's yours?
Um, my mind tells me that it should be Shawshank Redemption,
That's my
but my
number one
Oh
heart,
movie.
man, the best
yeah,
movie
but
in the world.
my heart would say all the Van Damme movies, and then forward it to the romantic scenes, and then that's about it. And then, because that's always Van Damme, right? You have action, and then
True.
you have love
Romance.
scene. There you go. Yeah.
Who
I
are
got
some of the famous leading ladies of Van Damme, if anyone recalls?
Oh, I can't even
Cynthia
remember the
Rothrock.
name.
Cynthia
Who's that?
Cynthia Rothrock became like a Van Damme girlfriend or something. Those were the action chicks, action movie chicks back then, right? Cynthia Rothrock. There's
There's
another person.
nobody anymore who's doing these
Who's that?
kind of
You
movies.
guys remember that? Cynthia Rock. There's another girl or lady who's
Cindy.
doing
People in the chat, please help.
uh,
Or the chat don't know any of these movies.
because because they were not born yet. I bet you Didi's not born yet. When we talk about these movies.
Man, that's a great answer.
Yeah. I do. Well, we have another question that we want to. There's one canned question that was asked before, but I think we know what Mike's can answer. There's one question. It says, "Would you rather have $2 million or 2 million Twitch followers?"
Dude,
No brainer. No brainer.
dollars,
No
bro.
brainer.
I don't care about
Dollar.
Twitch at that point.
Yeah, I'll buy me followers then.
I buy, I buy,
I can buy those. I can buy 2 million
you-
followers with my
oh my
2 million
god.
dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, most people would choose dollars, but the income potential of 2 million, if you can grow that to 10 million, that would be something like unlimited
Yeah.
income if you keep streaming.
Well,
So,
it's
you think about it.
well, not on the streaming standpoint. This is actually what other people think. If I win the lottery, right? They say $2 million. People think that they'll retire. For me, if I
No,
get
you
2 million,
can't.
yeah, well, even like 20 million. For me, I think I'm gonna work hard because I want to double that money and see
Yeah.
what I can do with that money.
Right.
That's always been my mentality. I'm not gonna try to get the millions winning the lottery. I want to see how I can make more by working harder. I'm weird, I know.
Hmm.
Have you ever remixed the Tagalog song, Mike Freak?
No, I've worked with a couple of Filipino artists before, so I've never been offered that. I was hoping I would get a K-pop remix because K-pop pays a lot of money.
Oh, geez.
Oh, they
But
do?
yeah,
That would explode quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, mainstream. They like if I do a mainstream remix, they pay good. So I'd imagine like a K-pop, which is kind of like the hot, music right now. I'd imagine they pay a lot of money. So
So how's that work? So you get K-pop, you're gonna mix like a mainstream song with their
yeah, make it more like it depends on what they want. Sometimes the client would be like, "Can you make this into a disco?" Or "Can you make this into like a more dancey kind of thing?" So they'll give me they'll give me an idea of what they want. So
oh.
that's
Oh,
how it
that's
goes. Yeah.
cool.
So who among the Filipino artists that you work with? Just curious.
So I've worked with this band. Shoot, I just remember the vocalist's name. They're from Tacloban. This is Tacloban. It's somewhere in Visayas. So they were pretty big. The name of the band is Loop, and I became good friends with their vocalist, Kim. So we're still friends up until now. So we've written a couple of songs together, and it was yeah. The thing was she struggled speaking Philippine Tagalog. So so we did a whole bunch of English songs, and yeah, it's funnily enough we did a video and shot it with the iPhone, and they featured it on the mix channel.
Oh,
Oh,
mix.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's-
it
That's
was
great.
like 2014, 2013, around that
So
time.
kind of recent
yeah,
too.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
done a couple of worked with a few Filipino artists.
Well, congratulations for all the achievements and collaborations and all the songs you're putting out. Please continue to make music and make people happy.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks.
it's great to have you here, Mr. Coops. We got 2 minutes to go, so
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
hearing
what-
from
well,
my
what-
headphone here.
Wait,
but-
actually, has a question. What's up, Budot? What Budot mix?
Gus can answer that.
you know what a budot make is, Mike Freak?
No.
No, we have to introduce that to you because actually,
Dude,
Gus.
I think I have an idea of what this is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like an EDM. It's actually their version of
Oh,
EDM
there you go,
yeah.
in the Visayas, right? So I think
It's
one
like
rate
bounce
train.
music from Davao.
Yeah,
Like bounce
Yeah.
house.
There
Oh,
was
damn.
one raid
Okay.
train that actually Gus played it. I think it was on a Kalayan raid train. You were part of that. So he actually played the dot mix, which is very interesting.
It's
But
fun.
DJ Pat's point, we're running out of time. Mike, thank you so much for taking time with us.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
Mike.
Very inspiring. I think everybody who listened to this show have learned a lot, not just knowing you more, but really getting some inspirational, things based on your achievements. How to push forward, how to have that positive vibes, how to overcome certain, difficulties in life. Thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it, buddy. And again, we would love to have you back. And hopefully you can help us, one of our hosting gig here if some of us can't make it. But thank you so much, brother.
Yeah,
Salute and
I charge
hope us to-
69 per hour, so
Oh man.
I'm down to do
If
it.
There you go.
anyone wants
I'm down to
if
do that.
anyone wants to
So
sponsor.
Yeah, there. And Mike, before we let you go and before we end it, can you promote any of your shows, any upcoming, albums that you have? Go ahead.
so there's no album, no nothing. So I don't have anything. Usually I'll have something like ready for the year, but I'm just focused on making music right now. I'll probably have 2 3 shows out of the country, then probably one somewhere, but that's it. Because I before I used to play like once a month somewhere, and this year I'm more focused on just making music. So
Hopefully,
using
some
you.
of the shows are drivable for us. So, I mean,
Yep,
give me at least three
we
hours.
are working on the New York show, so stay tuned for that one. I can't announce anything yet, so but we will be back in New York.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
yeah,
awesome. For me, anything between 3 hours, we'll be there.
yeah. Stay tuned for that one because there's going to be a whole lot of Twitch people involved as well. So yep,
And
pretty
how about your
excited.
Twitch shows? When do you regularly play?
My Oosh 5 to 7 and Just
That's a
House
Sunday.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday 6 to 8, and then I also have a radio show. So that's another thing. I have a radio show in the UK. With Deep Radio. I host that one live. So it's 5 o'clock here, 10 p.m. in the UK. And I stream it on YouTube. I don't stream it on Twitch. I've streamed that one on YouTube. This is a
I'll text
different.
you for the channel. We'll
Yeah, it's
definitely check
it's
it
called
out.
D3EP.
Please send the link and we can put it
Yeah.
on our socials. too.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Well, thank you, Mike. Again, salute to
Salamat.
you.
Salamat,
Salamat,
mga kapatid.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And we're running out of time. Thank you guys for joining us on episode 11 featuring Mike Freak. Have a good
Before
week.
Yeah, our outro will be Mr. Coops live, working from home. See you next week.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a
Okay.
good
Thank
week.
you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Mike.
I'll never compromise. Yo. I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I've tried 1,000 tries. I've tried 1,000 tries.